Well, David, thank you so much for taking a few minutes with us today. If you could start and just let us know the organization you're with, your role, a little bit about yourself, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. David Hawthorne, Chief People Officer for Anchorpoint Management Group. Been with Anchorpoint for 22 years this year.
Wow.
We operate restaurants around the country, Taco Bell's, Buffalo Wild Wings, a handful of other brands you probably recognize, but
Yeah.
about 400 units around the country with about 12,000 people.
Yeah. That's a lot of people to take care of in that industry, for sure.
A ton of people.
It's gone through an immense amount of change. I mean, you think about COVID, and I can't imagine having been in your position during that time. So.
It was highly challenging. Yes, we were never bored.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, listen, I in line with that, when you're the top of the food chain, if it were, in your organization, you're looking for answers, right? When you're problem solving and with all the disruption and change that's going on throughout HR. What was it about Connex that was of an interest to you, given all the different venues and avenues that you have access to with information and peer groups?
I had a great conversation with Andrew about how it was set up and how it worked. And what I really liked was very low key, targeted toward peers of mine in other industries. A very, if you will, not pressure situation to interact with others and see others and get their feedback. So it really seemed like the sort of organization I want to be part of, because I've got high pressure stuff coming at me all the time. So being able to just say engage when I need to, pull back when I need to was a great motivation for me.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, we certainly value your time, and so there's a few things we do with regards to that peer grouping. Maybe if you could speak a little bit to the virtual setting, going through the think tanks and the sessions and how you can pop in and out of where your needs are. How is that experience?
Yeah, it's just, very, very conveniently scheduled. There are some I can't make, and I'm sure that happens with everybody, but there are lots I can. Well run, well organized. Really appreciate what the whole team at Connex does to put those together and make them happen. And there's always something to be learned at them. So.
And it's a different setting when you're virtual, right? Mm-hmm. Now you're in person.
Right.
So everybody has their special sauce when it comes to how they put together events, if you will. Maybe how's the experience been with Connexion here?
It's been good. Nice to be able to interact with everybody. There's plenty of downtime, between sessions to network as you need to, or go catch up on email as you need to, whatever those things are. So easy to work into the schedule, easy to take advantage of the opportunities here.
And one of those things is meeting with vendor partners, mm-hmm. right? I'm sure there's no shortage of emails in your inbox when you get back, and voicemails and people trying to get a hold of you. But obviously in that world, it's people who you don't know taking and occupying your time, as opposed to you being, in the decision maker's seat, being able to choose and pick. What has that experience been like through discovery with our team, trying to figure out where your needs are and to that push and pull? Maybe
it's been great. I mean, as you might imagine, between LinkedIn and spam emails and everything else, there are probably thousands of people reaching out at any given time to sell something, right? Yeah. In many cases, it's something I don't even need and don't even want to look at. So if there is a legitimate vendor that comes into that mix, there's a good chance I miss them because of all the other, crap that's in there.
Yeah.
Being able to really talk to the Connex team and say, hey, I really need this, or, based on where I'm at today, I have a gap here that you have a vendor that I could partner with to fill that gap would be great. And so they're much more targeted. And much easier for me to get to pick and choose. And I've actually met several vendors that I probably would have never encountered had it not been for Connex.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Is there anything that you might give counsel to anybody who's looking to become a Connex member? If you were talking to David before David became a Connex member, what would your advice be?
I would say certainly is if you need to meet vendors, if you need to have access to vendors you might not normally get, this is really the way to do it, because it's much more targeted. You can look at vendors that offer something that you likely need, right? And then beyond that, just the interaction with all the peers that you get to meet across the various industries, to be able to talk to other CHROs about their experiences and what's happening, and between the pandemic and all the other stuff that's happened since, it's a lot of turmoil. And trying to figure it out yourself is hard to do. So being able to partner with others and say, hey, what have you done here? And I've thought of this, what do you think? And those sorts of conversations are great.
Yeah, they are invaluable, that's for sure. That's horsepower, isn't it?
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, David, thank you so much for taking a few minutes. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.